All right, welcome back to the channel. So today we're continuing taking a look at the Team Associated SR7 Hoonigan car. It's been a great car so far. It is 4S, 6S capable. I've ran on 6S and 4S. Pretty fast car. 43 miles an hour on 4S, 63 miles an hour on 6S. Today I'm going to be looking at the diffs, the front, center, and the rear. Also want to see what type of gearing this stock motor mount can take, the biggest pinion gear can take with the 45 tooth spur. All right, let's get into the video. All right, so to get to the motor mount pinion gear and all that good stuff, 2 top screws here and 1 on the bottom right here. Hope you guys can see that. Wow, right here. And then you should be able to move the motor mount around, move it out the way so you can install a bigger gear. Now let's see. So now it's loose. All right, let's remove the pinion gear. All right, I do see that they used some Loctite on there, which is good. Not too much, but they do have some on there. It's kind of, I know I might scratch the glue up, but it's fine. Pop that off. All right. Okay, so I have a couple of gears here, but I mean it's quite a bit of. I could probably do. I think this is a 30. This is a 30 tooth pinion. This is one of the armor gears I had. 30 tooth. Let's just see if we'll go on there. Oh yeah, definitely have plenty of space. It's not even hitting the motor right now. So already you put a 30 tooth with the stock gear, the stock spur gear. How will the motor and ESC handle it? That's a different story, but as far as what gear you could put on there, so far this is a 34. It's like the XO1 gear. Let's see. It's on there. Looks like it has a little bit of play. So a 34 seems to be the max or close to it. Let's see, it's a 35. This one here, zoom in. Anyway, this is a 35, guys. Try to get it to zoom in. Here we go, 35 tooth. All right. Let's see if that will work. First, I have to get it on there. One second, guys. See, this grub screw is kind of stuck. Can't get it off, but it probably will not. Let's see. Yeah, this gear will not work. Give me 1 second. All right, so I couldn't get that one to work. So this is another gear I have. This is a really old school gear. I had this since, man, probably over 10 years plus. This is a 35 tooth right here. This is a 34. This one here is a 35. Slightly one tooth bigger. I'm not sure if it would go onto the shaft, but we will see if I could get it to go. Okay, so it's on the shaft and has a little bit of play. So I think a 35 would be the biggest you can put on there. Definitely the 34 will fit, as you can see that right there. The 34. I will not run a 34 or a 35. It comes stock with a 14 tooth. So I may go up just about 2 tooth just to see, but I think I'll leave the 14 on for now. My next run video, but we'll see how that goes. But let's put it back on there for now. So that's pretty much how you would change your pinion gear, and we see that you can run a 35 tooth pinion on this guy right out the box. And definitely has a little bit more room to run a bigger motor as well. So That's just good. Yep. So I'm pretty sure you won't have any problems with running bigger gears in this vehicle. We'll see how the motor and ESC handles that, like I said. All right, so let's get into the diffs. All right, so I'm going to start with the center. It looks like I could take these 4 screws here off. That's on over the center diff, and possibly 1 screw here and 1 screw in the front to get this whole center piece out. So I'm going to try that right now and see if that will work. I'm just looking at it to see how I'm going to dismantle it, but I think that might be the best way. So let's go. And I always like to keep the screws in the same pattern. I'll put it back into the same place it came out of. Again, love this little tool. I haven't charged it in a little bit. Hopefully it doesn't die in this video. This one's the front. All right, let's see if this lifts out of here. So that might not, but let's see. It should work though. I just want the screws to go flying. Maybe not. Let's just do it piece by piece. Maybe there's other screws. Ah, actually, I see something here. I overlooked that piece. Okay, so that's loose back there. One up there. So, okay, so that releases the center brace. Okay. Okay, so, oops, oh, it dropped out. But anyways, you don't need to take this screw here out, just 1, 2, and 3, and it comes out. So I put that one back in. So as I tilt the car over, the center diff and the rear drive shaft popped out. So just trying to keep everything neat, guys. So basically, how it was, pretty much like that. Okay, so here we are, and the dog bone drive shaft right there. Boom. The front one also, just put in the front. Boom. And here's the diff. All right, it's the 45 tooth mod 1. Okay, see that right there. Okay, so we'll go ahead. Oh, and they also have the little rubber washers in there. Nice for you don't hear the clacking around noise. Even the cups, the outer cups in the front and the rear has it, and I'm pretty sure the front has it as well. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead, show you these 4 screws. Able to pop the diff open and see what's going on the inside. Okay, pop that open. So this is what's in there. Okay, I think I will top it off a little bit more, not a lot, just a little bit. I know it's 100K in the middle and 10K in the front and rear. All right, so I'm gonna top it off with some 100K Team Associated actually team diff oil, or diff fluid, I should say. Just want to come right midway of the teeth of the gears in there. I want to overfill it. So I just put a little bit, let that sit while I tackle the rear diff. I'm going to look like I removed this brace right here. And I may look to remove the rear splitter, or I may just take this cover off and access it right through here. So 2 screws right here. 1, 2, that's 2 I just removed. So I'm thinking of removing the 2 screws that's holding this on to remove this brace right here. Have direct access to the diff right back there. So as I was recording, so just wiggle these 2 out. Come out just like that from the back over there. All right, so I got that brace out. So I'm going to put the screws back in again, so I don't lose any screw and forget where they go. And then put the front ones on as well. All right, and now I have access to the rear diff cover. Again, so far seems pretty easy to work on this vehicle. Pretty easy, guys. Maybe I'll try to bring you guys around or turn the car so you guys can see what I'm doing. All right, so there's 2 screws here. You gotta loosen the screws up for the sway bar. And I believe we should be able to take the rear cover off. Also, the manual gives you a pretty good diagram on how to remove these parts. I actually don't have the manual down here. It's actually upstairs at the moment. So I'm just gonna wing it and figure it out as I go. All right. Loosen that up. Okay. And I think. All right, so after those 2, then you remove these 2 screws here. And then you should be able to slide the rear diff cover out of there. All right, so let's give it a go. Again, try to keep the screws organized, guys. All right, there we go. Diff covers off, has some nice grease there. All right, and there it is. All right, now that it's out the way. We'll just flip them both out the way. Okay, put the screw back. All right, let's try it again, guys. Boom. There you go. So remove the bottom screw with the shock, and you definitely be able to get out nice and easy. So same thing, 4 screws on the top, and let's open it up and see if this diff is filled or if it needs to be topped off. Now let's see if this is filled. Oh no, the rear is, I won't say completely dry, but it definitely could take some lube in there, guys. So let's definitely top this off. So I'm guessing the front also would need some lube, which could also contribute to the car pulling left and right a little bit on the low end. Again, top end is fine, but bottom end, it definitely, I mean, it's not hateful, but you can definitely see in the video, okay? So we'll go ahead and top that off, guys. Let's go ahead and get the diff lube. We'll top it off. All right, so let's get that topped off, guys. We'll let it set. Let that settle in for a little bit, and then we'll check it. But it kind of turn a little bit sometimes. All right, I'll put the center diff back together, and then look to put that back in after. I could do it before, so let's go ahead and put the center diff back together. The center diff wasn't really low, slightly, so just pretty much just top it off a little bit, and we're putting it back together. I like how they added the rubber. I normally would cut nitro fuel tubing and stuff it in there so you don't hear all the clacking around. You can see there's a little bit of play front to back, but it's cushioned. And that team, again, the more I work on this car or look at it, I find more and more details and more engineering and just more things they put into it just to make it a better quality car as well. So I mean, shout out to Team Associated. Nothing's perfect, but they definitely, I think they did a good job with this car. Again, I'll be a little surprised if the front diff is filled with fluid. I think it's going to be empty, like how the rear was. Again, I think that would solve our issue, a big part of our issue for sure, with the car moving left and right on the low end speed. It's pretty simple. The way they have it, the way you can take it apart and work on it, it's not complicated. So center diff is back installed. Wouldn't spin them. I forgot the rear shaft is not installed. So now I'll go ahead and show you guys the rear differential now. All right. So we'll go ahead and reinstall that. Also, don't forget to install your sway bars and don't crank it all the way down. Just snug it and then back it out a little bit, and you should be good to go. Also, something to point out, guys, so it has adjustable battery trays, so we can move forward, raise up, slide it back, move it backwards. So for different trays, for different battery sizes. You just have to remove, what I could tell, remove the 2 screws on the side, and then kind of just pop it out, slide it back in, and you were good to go. Just like that. And drop basically the 2 screws, one here, one on the other side. All right, moving on to the front. So probably the same sort of deal. I'm gonna remove this top piece here, that brace, and then we will, I guess, go on the bottom and remove that piece. So I took these 2 out from the bottom. I think these 2 here, the last 2 pieces, this should come right out. Maybe I didn't need to take the other ones out, but we will see when I remove it, see what I didn't need to take out or what I needed to. So when you take those screws out, these screws here out, you have to lift this here, lift it up, and it will slide the front clip off. That's what was holding it. So I believe you do need to take all of those screws out. So let me put them here off to the side. All right, we are at a point where we could slide the cover off. We got some grease in there. Here's the diff. Again, that little rag. Always make sure you know the orientation of how the diff is coming out. This side. Okay. All right. There we go. 4 screws on the top. Get right into it. Let's see if there's any diff fluid in there. All right, let's see. This is the front diff, guys. The front diff does need some. It's not completely dry, but it could definitely use some diff fluid. This had more in it than the rear. Just go ahead, fill it up with 10K Team Associated diff fluid, and we will reinstall it once everything settles. 10K. I know I should probably empty it out and then redo it, but I'm just going to add it in. Alright, so the diff fluid settled in nicely. Go ahead and top it off. Again, line up the black tabs. Then you're able to secure it in there. Have to recheck it real quick, guys. All right, there we go. All right, diff is going back in. Same way it came out. All right, so the car is back together now. So hopefully once the weather clears up, at least give me at least dry enough of a surface. We'll take it back out and give it a run. So it's no longer on my radio, on the stock radio. I have my Radio Link radio. So I have a receiver that has gyro in it. And like I said, just went through the diffs now, and we'll go from there. Like I said, I will be replacing the servo at some point, but I'll give it another run and just, there I go, guys. So again, I want to thank you guys for watching. Catch you in the next one.